Hello everyone, Chris here, and today I'd like to show you guys how to pick out a good WordPress theme for your website. Now, if you've already installed WordPress, you know that you can go ahead and check out the themes that you have installed by going to your WordPress admin, WP admin up here, and then go to Appearance, Themes, and you'll end up at this page. By default, you have the 20 series themes installed, which are just the default WordPress themes. 2015, 2014, 13, possibly 2012, and themes earlier than that. And while they're not bad themes, they will make your site look generic. Anyone who uses WordPress will immediately realize you haven't done any work to make your site look unique, to add in a specific theme, or one that really suits your needs. So you could use 2015 if you're just using like a standard blog, but I think it's generally a better idea to go ahead and find a custom theme. So we're going to go ahead and hit the Add Theme button, and this will bring you to the WordPress theme repository. Now, keep in mind this doesn't include every single WordPress theme in existence, especially when it comes to minimalistic ones. You might have to Google search to find some of those, but it does contain a lot, if not most, of the themes that are out there. And not all of them are particularly good. There are certain things you need to look for when you're picking out a WordPress theme. For instance, in most cases, you want a theme that is clean looking, has even spacing on things, it's easy on the eyes, which usually means a good font choice and a light colored background, although not always necessarily. For instance, you look at this LifeLog one, and that's actually pretty cool looking. Even though it has a black background, it's a pretty reasonable theme. Someone put some effort into it. Okay, aside from that, you almost always want a theme that is going to be responsive to mobile devices. And the reason for that is that people browse websites a lot on their phones now, and a theme that doesn't respond to mobile devices or doesn't respond to a smaller browser width is going to look bad when people are browsing on their phones. And if they see something that looks bad, they're going to leave pretty much immediately. So that's very important. And I think I had one other one here. Oh yeah. You want to find a theme that fits your specific needs. Not every site needs to look the same or has the same layout. For instance, we'll go ahead and take a look at the Popular tab, which, by the way, the Featured tab doesn't mean that they're good even if they're featured. In fact, a lot of them tend to be kind of meh. But a good first starting place is to look at the Popular themes. Especially if you're looking for a free business kind of thing. There are a lot of them over here. So when it comes to business layouts, generally, a lot of the sites are going to have some kind of header image. You see integrated with some fine plugins. Bam, header image behind it, or slider. A slider is also very popular these days. And then below that, it's going to have 3 or 4 sections that are kind of like, oh, click here for more information. Find out about our services. Contact us for a free quote. And those are the kinds of sections you would put below there. Now, the themes that are going to advertise this are generally set up specifically to look good for businesses. But if we go ahead and preview them, you'll see that it won't look exactly like that generally the minute you make it. Like, where are those three little blocks? Well, typically you want to use a plugin like Page Builder, which is a story for another time. But you use Page Builder to build out a custom front page. And then you can make it look like that. Just because a theme can look like that doesn't mean it necessarily has to. But I would recommend you do go with one of these themes if you are looking for a more business-looking website. And if you're really going to make a real serious website, you can go ahead and get a premium theme as well. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Other kinds of sites you may just be trying to make a standard blog. Ones like Omega, although I wouldn't say this is the best looking blog theme. It's okay, and it's definitely more leaning towards making a general blog. Other more creative designs. A lot of the more creative sites, or I would say a larger percentage of creative sites, tend to go for more black, a little bit harsher colors, like this one-tone theme here, which is the only theme I think I've ever seen where, oh, it's not letting me mute it, is it? Where the preview has a music playing on it. Okay, let's refresh the page to get rid of that. And you just got to keep in mind, what are you actually trying to accomplish? Are you just trying to create a basic blog? Or maybe you're trying to create a magazine site. like a magazine news style site, something that looks like the Huffington Post or New York Times. That's something also to consider, and there are a lot of themes which are really good at doing that. For more creative types, photographers, you might consider something like a grid-based theme. Now, you see here that it looks nothing like that, and that's of course because it's not set up yet. We're not using posts with images, and that theme probably requires a little bit more setup. It said it looks like Pinterest, and yes, it does. You can look through these, of course. Another thing you can do is to filter by the features. And generally, when I go here, I would say that the ones that are actually worth doing is light and responsive. I don't even think that, you know, fixed layout sites are necessarily worth bothering with these days, but up to you what you want to go with. I'd just say make sure it looks good on a mobile device, or you'll just be losing out on free traffic. Of course, you can also filter by features, but I think that in general people label their themes and exactly what they can do a little bit poorly. So you might actually be filtering out some good themes on accident by you know, choosing some of these, but ones that are pretty safe bets: custom backgrounds, and let's see, featured images might be one you want to go with too. If you don't know, a featured image is the image that would typically be at the top of the blog post, and whenever the post is referenced from another section of your site, that's the image that's going to show. You can play around with that, check out all the free themes, but in many cases, if you're trying to make a more professional site, you don't actually want to use a free theme. You want to just put out the money and go ahead and get a professional theme, or rather a paid theme. So one way you can do that, Themeforest, and then go to WordPress. You'll have a lot of different options here. Blog magazine are typically the best sellers on the site, I believe. Like if we go ahead and check out best sellers, you're going to have Sahifa at the top with 14,000 sales, quite impressive. Newspaper, and these would be when you're trying to like really imitate a site like New York Times, maybe MSNBC, or that kind of stuff, because if we go ahead and check the preview out by clicking on the image, that one's more like a video game site. Let me go ahead and try another one. Smart Mag, I believe this one looked a little bit more standard. Yeah. Alright, so you see it's magazine style, has a lot of different categories that you can choose from, and really it's impossible to get bored if you actually put out this much content on your front page. But it looks clean, it looks nice in general. You can play around a little bit with that. Now, if you don't want to go ahead and look through every single theme in existence, like I to some extent have, I haven't looked at everything, but I've looked at a lot. Then one other option is just to go ahead and Google search these articles, which will be titled something like Top 15 Free WordPress Themes, or Top 15 Themes for Blogs, or for magazine-style sites, or Best Business Themes. And there are a lot of these articles that people have written out there. I've actually made a couple, which I'll put down in the links below on one of my blogs, NetPerceiver, for free themes, or I believe it was free minimalistic themes, and I had another one for magazine-style themes, which is kind of what you're looking at with this stuff. Gonzo, I don't believe, made the cut for that. So I hope that gives you a pretty good idea of how to get started with picking out a good WordPress theme. It's something you do want to spend some time on, because how your site looks when the visitor comes is going to be a very large factor in whether they stay for more than 3 seconds or not. And that's why designers, which I'm not a designer, but that's why professional web designers have a job, because it is a really big deal. So make sure you pick a good theme. I've been Chris. Once again, if you want me to make any other kind of WordPress or otherwise tutorials, let me know with the comment, or you know, just comment whatever. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all next time.